that you're doing on purpose. Sing like a singing on key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you. Pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
Everybody, welcome in. Later with Jason Suel. Glad you're tuned in. We got a great show for you. Man, the band getting me energized, ready to go.
Fire.
On fire.
Yes, you're smoldering.
Yes.
Yeah, smoldering.
And speaking
we
of
got sprinkler systems. They didn't set off, so we're not on fire yet.
Thank goodness. You taking over the world?
Well, you know, it's 2024.
Wow.
You know, looking at the world, looking at how things have changed. Where do I want to go this year? What do I want to be when I grow up?
Why don't you
like,
spin it and point somewhere and see where you're going to... You're taking a trip to that place this
I'm
year.
going to the Tropic of Cancer.
Well,
in
congratulations.
the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Just
so
right
I'm
there.
dead.
Yes,
Great.
so you're just
Love that for me,
off.
2024.
That's goals.
Yeah. So where are we going to go today?
Okay, we got a great show lined up for you at home, and guess what? You get to go along on the ride with us as we travel all throughout Northwest Arkansas. We're featuring the one and only Dan Robinson on the show. He's going to be sitting in our hot seat from our very own studio right here in downtown Fayetteville, Fayetteville Public Television. Going to be talking to us about all things FPTV. And then, you know, FPTV does a series called Fayette Tunes. We're featuring one of their music videos on the show. Avery Lee and the Sweeties are joining us, so stick around for that sweet music video. And then down there at our chef's table, all the way up block from Maxine's, we've got Abel Baer mixing up a cocktail for us. What are we doing, Abel?
Today we're going to be making a burnt honey and thyme bee's knees.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yes, sign me up. That is awesome. Right now, let's kick it to our friend Raffi Andonian, who's giving us some history about chocolate and Valentine's Day, because you know it is the month of love. And then stick around after that. We got more fun happening later. We are back with celebrity historian Raffi Andonian again, and it's the time of year for love. We're talking about Valentine's Day, chocolate, how all of that came to be. Welcome back. Thanks for being here.
Of course, I love being here.
So we were visiting in the break here. We were talking about different notions of love over time and how that has changed. What do you have to say?
I think that's fascinating because we think of love as universal, right? But it kind of is, kind of isn't. Like history to me is about change over time. We're products of our time, and we have a sense of how we are and what our being is, and love is a sense of being. So as notions of changes, notions of who we are have changed, so has notions of love. So it's a really fascinating few examples we'll give just for kind of, you know, a taste of how diverse this could be. So in ancient Greece, we're talking even before Socrates, for example, a long time ago, you're looking at love, there's this notion of strife and recovery and these transitional phases. That's love, has to do with the cosmos. This is what tied into love. But when Socrates came around, and actually Plato writes about this in Symposium, a very famous work where he has 7 conversations with 7 people about what love means, and they all have different examples. What's some of the examples in there? One is about citizenship, right? One is about being a good citizen and what that means. One of them is about sort of this notion of heavenly versus earthly love and how you should suppress the earthly love, because if you're just, you know, being dominated by the earthly love, then you're not truly free, and that's being a slave in their eyes to those passions. And then you have a different notion where he starts to quote Socrates, and Socrates' love is discovering of the self. And I think some of those notions we still have today.
Yes, and another thing that I think of when I think of Valentine's Day is chocolate. You brought a great example of chocolate here. We've got one of our favorite local brands, Markham and Fitz, represented right here. But we were also talking about just chocolate throughout the ages and how that came to be.
Well, chocolate also is a great example of how it changed. I do think that we are going through a renaissance of chocolate history, if you want to call it that, and a great local example here that represents the larger sort of proliferation of local craft chocolates that are very carefully made. But it wasn't always that way, right? So for example, of course chocolate goes back to Central and South America thousands of years, but what I find fascinating is the different ways it was used.
Okay.
So the Mayans, for example, they're not the first people to use them. There's evidence of the Olmecs before them using it, but the Mayans are using it as an everyday kind of thing. And it's very bitter, what they would be having. Bitter with chili peppers often in it.
Interesting.
Which I love. Think about mole today, which mixes chocolate and peppers. That's kind of an homage to them. Where does it come from? Comes to the southern part of Mexico. It makes sense. They're drawing upon thousands of years of that tradition. Goes really well together. But in the 20th century, with the rise of the late 19th and into the 20th century, with the rise of the popular candy bar companies that are still around, like Mars and others, right? That's when you get the creamier, softer chocolates. And what we call chocolate now actually had much more than just chocolate in it. Think of Snickers bars and all these things. They have all kinds of stuff in it. We would call it chocolate, but really it has a lot of other stuff in it, not just chocolate. And I think that what we're seeing here locally is, in a way, a response to that. Because some people said, that's not really chocolate. There's a lot of sugar. There's all kinds of other added stuff in it. What if I'm a purist and I want a chocolate and I want the rich chocolate flavors to use a different cacao bean? That's what you have an example of right here. And that's what we're experiencing and observing right now today.
And I'm so glad we are, talking about the history of love, but also the history of chocolate. One thing that stays true is chocolate was delicious back in the day and it's still delicious today.
I love it both ways. We got to try one of these.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Yes. Okay. Oh, man. That is so good.
I don't even normally like truffles. These are amazing truffles.
Amazing truffles. Markham and Fitz, you do it upright. Thank you, Raffi, for joining us, filling us in all that history. You can find him at celebrityhistorian.com. And stick around, we got more fun, maybe more chocolate, happening later. Welcome back, everybody. We've got Dan Robinson in the hot seat, the producer of our very own show. And, you kind of run Fayetteville Public Television as well, right?
This is my 12th year running Fayetteville Public Television.
Wow, dude, that is amazing. 12 years, and I know 2023 was kind of a banner year for you. Kind of just recap maybe some of the highlights of what you all did in 2023.
We did so much, but the thing that was really exciting, especially after the pandemic, was the traffic. We had, hundreds of hours clocked in the edit bays, hundreds of hours clocked here in the studio, lots of class participation. So, it's just really nice to see it back to where it was right before the pandemic happened. It has just grown back, and now we're really excited about what the future holds.
Sure. And so people who are just hearing about this for the first time, maybe this is such a resource for the community. Talk to us about what you do and how folks can get involved here at FPTV.
So Fayetteville Public Television is a resource here in Fayetteville that offers classes in video production, the equipment to produce the videos, and then whatever you produce, we can put on broadcast television and on the internet. So an audience can see your product.
Yeah, and I know Bo and I, we've talked about this a lot because not only do we both have this show going on, but we also kind of spiral off and have other opportunities to be the face of things and have shows. How important is it for folks to be consistent if they want to launch a project?
The consistency is key. It's like you've got to get past your first 5 episodes, your first 10 episodes, just to get a groove. Here we are like 250 episodes deep, and we're still getting our groove.
We're still hitting the groove, right?
But it feels good, and it's that consistency that helps the audience build. It makes you a better content creator. So that is, I would say, the main ingredient of success with media production.
Yes, Bo, I don't know how many stories you have. I have several where folks have a great idea and then they kind of do one episode or one podcast.
If I hear one more idea about 2 guys that really love craft beer that have been lifelong friends, no, don't start that podcast. We got too many of them. But if you have another good idea, you're right, consistency is everything. And I see so many people get so upset so fast that after their second episode, they're not like Joe Rogan. And it's like, you're not gonna be, but just do it because you love it and keep at it.
And we talk about the stick-to-itiveness, as my old high school coach would have said, the consistency, right? But if it's going to go, 10 seasons, 11 seasons, or if it just lasts 1 season, you have the opportunity here at Fayetteville Public Television to get some support behind your ideas and your creativity, which is so needed.
That's right.
So you don't feel like you're kind of on an island.
When you're doing that kind of work, you often hit roadblocks where it's like, man, I got to push past this. And having people around who can help you see the other side of that roadblock and help answer that question or whatever it is can really help. people succeed.
And you're located right here just off the square on Rock in downtown Fayetteville, easy to find. And because we're talking about downtown Fayetteville, and it is, we're being sponsored, the show, by Restaurant Week, Experience Fayetteville. I got to ask you, can you give me some top restaurants that Dan Robinson loves in Fayetteville?
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Put me in the hot seat.
The hot seat, yeah.
Cheers is a great go-to for business meetings on the square and that sort of thing.
Sure.
But then I'm also, I love Tiny Tim's on the square is great. Feed and Folly is a wonderful place. I love the pretzels at Feed and Folly and the beers.
Those Reuben egg rolls.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I will get those as an entree.
Yeah.
They are so good.
Yes. I love that you listed ones that are all kind of close to you here in downtown.
Yeah. But we like to be able to walk. We're a walk-friendly and bike-friendly community.
Absolutely.
So the things within walking distance we really appreciate.
But what about for you? Top spots to visit?
So I love, and it's funny because when I say this, people go, "Is that place still open?" Thai Diner.
Thai
like
Diner.
Their massaman curry and that spicy coconut soup, there's just hits. Right. So I love that. I love the bone marrow at Theo's. Absolutely a winner every time. And you know what? I got to give a shout out to Damn Good Pies in Fayetteville because they're still hanging on, still making that pink sauce stuffy.
Absolutely. Dan, what else do we need to know about FPTV? Because if people are coming down here, we've given them a place to go eat. Yep. They can hang out with you and check out equipment and learn stuff. What else do they need to know? I would say like and subscribe. You've got to check out the cool content that's rolling out on our YouTube. Dan, I got to ask you one question. I know you're going to get mad at me because we're already over time and you're usually the guy who's like, Jason, wrap it up. But you also are the co-executive director currently of the Fayetteville Film Fest. Yes. What can we look forward to in 2024? Anything that we need to know about at this moment in time, early on in the year? We're really excited about the year-round programming that we're developing. So you'll be able to go to the Walton Arts Center and see great local films brought to you by the Fayetteville Film Fest at the Walton Arts Center. So there's going to be 4 of those showcases. And then we've got some other things up our sleeve as well. So it's going to be an exciting year for film. What's the website for that one? The website is fayettevillefilmfest.org, where you can stay up to date and you can donate. You can help support the Fayetteville Film Fest. That would be great. Absolutely. That grassroots film festival right here in Fayetteville. We're talking all things Fayetteville. Thank you, Dan Robinson, for filling us in on everything. You got restaurants, you got FPTV, you got the Film Fest. Very involved man. If you don't know Dan Robinson, look him up. You want to be involved with what he has going on. And stick around. We got more fun, if you can believe it. It's all happening later.
Our musical guest is brought to you by the debut season of The Comedy Zone at Walton Arts Center.
You are black pepper stuck in my teeth, so I guess I'll floss and make my gums bleed. You spiced up my meal hours ago. My crevices held on, they did not want you to go. Now I'm on to meal 2 of the day. It's flavored, but it tastes like sour shit. Your body odor
Yes, we are down here at the chef's table all the way from Maxine's. Abel Baer joining us to mix up some cocktails.
Cocktail time.
It's cocktail time. Thanks to our friends at Experience Fayetteville for their sponsorship of this segment and also of Restaurant Week happening in Fayetteville. Really cool that we have that happening. Go check it out when you get the chance. So what are you putting together down here, Abel? You said a bee's knees?
Yeah, so today I just have like a little bee's knees set up. This is a burnt honey and thyme syrup that I made at home.
Yeah, you made it at home?
Or did you burn thyme?
A little bit of both, honestly, because it takes some time to burn some honey. Just put the honey in a pan, leave it on, don't stir it too much, and wait till it starts to change colors, and like you'll kind of get that tannic smell coming from it, and then add the thyme, add some water, and you're good to go.
Okay.
Well, I don't see any thyme in there. Do you strain it off? Do you let it steep? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, you let it steep for a while, kind of like tea. You know, the thyme leaves infuse through the whole thing, and then you just strain it off. Exactly, you're burning thyme the entire time. And then this is just some lemon juice, and we've got some nice London dry gin.
I'm hoping we can make that time joke at least 3 more times.
More times.
During this
More
segment.
times.
More time,
Yes,
indeed.
And
yeah.
I know because we're both bartenders, it wouldn't be right to start the segment without giving me a little bit of a layback. I saw you brought your whiskey.
I brought this just for Bo, because I know how much he likes it.
Yes, there we go.
Oh, yeah, there he goes.
All right.
You feeling good now?
I am. I'm ready. So let's do this, man.
Wait, you've got a few different types of glasses over there as well, right?
I do,
You wanna
yes.
talk through
So
that?
why is there ice in these? And why? Okay, so why would you like what glass is perfect for a bee's knees? I know some people they go, oh, a glass is a glass is glass, right? Why would an old fashioned go in something like this? Why does a bee's knees go in something like this? Why do you put ice in here before there's even a drink in here?
Right.
What's going on?
So a lot about drink making is about temperature, and that's the reason why we have the ice in here. Whenever we pour the drink into there, if it's room temperature, the drink is immediately going to warm up, and we don't really want that because the drink, as cold as possible, is going to taste as good as possible.
So we're tempering the glasses, chilling them up, right? You got different varieties of coupes.
I do.
You know, and why a stem glass?
A stem glass is nice because another reason, the same reason, sorry, you're not warming it up. So if you put it in this, you're touching
it.
The water
from your
where it's
hand.
going. Exactly. And I see a lot of people, it's kind of an irk as a lot of bartenders, whenever you see somebody drinking wine out of a stemmed glass and they're holding it like that. And they're just warming the wine up. So
It's
if you
not
hold it like
just
this,
being fancy, it's being proper.
it is,
Yes.
indeed, yes.
All
Pinkies
right.
up.
All right, let's get to it.
Bees knees it.
I feel like I'm
Awesome.
seeing all these.
All right.
Yeah, look at that.
So yes, here we've got our jigger. This just makes sure I'm getting exactly how much of this that I want in
Sure.
here. We're gonna go in with 2 ounces of this. It's a little less sweet because whenever you burn the honey, some of those sugars like caramelize. It's what's known as the Maillard reaction. So I'm doing a little bit more of that than I typically would. Go full 2 ounces.
And then what's this one?
And then this is just fresh squeezed lemon juice. I squeezed it right before I came here this morning. I'm doing an ounce and a half of that. And this is for 2.
And the beefeater is what you would go to for this cocktail, or?
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is just a standard London dry gin.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be a little bit spicier, just very juniper forward. Exactly. Yeah.
So a dry gin.
Yes.
Right. How many ounces of that?
I'm going in with 4 ounces.
4
of
ounces.
this.
This is for 2 servings.
It is 2 servings.
These measurements are for 2 servings, ladies and gentlemen, or 1 serving for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say one generous serving when you're at home watching Netflix.
That's when you would want to use the rocks glass. You just put both of them in there and sit on the couch, and you're good to go.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go in with some of this ice.
And ice is important too.
It is.
Like refrigerator ice will get you in a pinch, but if you have good, solid, clean ice, you can shake it well. Like, don't get one of those tumblers that are like double walled so you can't feel what's going on in the tin. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Indeed, there are.
That's why you want to go with a professional to make your drinks, right?
You do, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Look at that
Yeah.
cake.
Go ahead and get it shaken up here. And you know it's about done when you start feeling the walls get cold.
Man. And now you're ready to pour. Okay,
Right.
so that was just for the chill.
Just for chilling.
Just
up
for the chill.
Ice. Yeah, ice chills the glass. Glass keeps the drink
Exactly.
cold.
And now I remember I forgot to get my Hawthorne strainer out
the
of here.
strainer.
All right, you're good.
Handy
you
dandy
have it right
Hawthorne.
there.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right there.
So why 2 strainers?
2 strainers. Well, this gets out all the ice, the big ice cubes, and then this will get out the smaller little chips from whenever you shook it and it kind of broke up. And those little chips are in there right now.
Right.
You don't necessarily want them in the drink.
Okay, so you just want liquid in that glass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And gentlemen,
Should we try these?
I would love to.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Abel. Thank
Burnt
you.
honey
Cheers.
and thyme. Oh, that's lovely.
That is really good.
Nom, 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 nom.
That is
Excellent.
delicious.
Now remind us again, you're at Maxine's.
I am. I bartend at Maxine's. I work 3 days a week, so you can find me every Saturday, Wednesday, and Sunday.
Those are busy days.
They are
Don't
busy
forget to
days.
tip your bartenders.
Don't forget
especially
to tip your
if they're
bartenders.
able.
Yes.
Indeed, yeah.
Thank you for bringing this to us. We appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me here. I
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
y'all.
Stick around. We got more happening later. Yes, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Before we leave, we've got to thank all of the amazing guests that made this show possible, including the one and only Dan Robinson down there. Also, Raffi Andonian for joining us. Thanks for being our guests, gentlemen.
And of course, Abel from Maxine's for making these amazing cocktails.
Yes, and how about that music video from Avery Lee and the Sweeties? That's our show. We'll see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.